So I'll clear these out of the way. And for our next step, we'll need bag 214 and bag 311. Bag 214 is the back left leg to the tail wag actuator cable, and bag 311 is the rear electronics board. So inside of bag 311, find the rear electronics board and its mounting system, and it's being held with 2 screws with the bracket in place. So we're going to remove these 2 screws. We'll use these to mount it. That bracket like that. This bracket, you can see, has a little bit of a bump here, and then this side is flat. Module there. Okay, and so we're going to mount this right here, like this. But before we do that, since the tail motor will be on this side, we're going to go ahead and route this cable, just because it's easier to do that at this point rather than later. And so I'm just going to take this cable and I'm just going to bring it through here like this. It'll be going to an actuator that's here. There's nothing there right now. And so then I'm going to go ahead, after I've done that, I'm just going to pull that center and then slide this into place. So this just fits right into this slot. So I'm just going to route the cable through the middle, squeeze that down, so you can see what it looks like on this side. And then we'll take this cover, put it through the cable, and then align it here, like that. Kind of just snaps in, and then we will fasten it with these 2 screws. Okay, and so now we have that attached like that. All right. Next up, we'll have bag 310, which is the U2D2 enclosure. And inside we have this little module with a USB, 2 Dynamixel ports, and then a attachment point here. The screw in it already, so I'll go ahead and remove this screw. And you can see it just goes through this little cap piece. We'll take our U2D2 module, flip a section like this. This USB port is going to go into the USB port on the Pi. So we're just going to align those and then just slide it in like that. Now when we flip this over, you'll see that this hole is aligned there. So we'll go ahead and put this cap in place on this side, and then take the screw, put it in the center, and tighten it down. So now we've got that held in place. Okay. So next we have bag 119, which is the back right leg assembly. And to go along with that, we'll need motor number 4, actuator number 4, which is the back right leg actuator. So like we did with the other legs in the front section, we're only going to take the motor mount and the fan holder out of this kit. So here's the fan holder, here's the motor mount, and we will also need fan 320 for this actuator. So now we'll pull out the bag of hardware. Just going to sort through it really quick. So we'll use these long 25mm screws when we attach the legs. So there's 4 of those. I'm going to put those back in the bag, save them for later. The remainder will be M2 screws that are 8mm and 10mm. And so there will be 4 of them that are 10mm. So I'll pull those out, and we're going to save those for later as well. And the rest of this we'll use. So I'm going to just seal this bag up, and I will put this in bag 119 to use later. Okay, and so these I will just sort out. There should be 8 M2 8mm screws, and then 6 M2 nuts. Okay, I'm going to set our fan holder aside for a moment too. Okay, so this will be the back right leg. And so that will be just like that. And in order to mount that, we'll use this bracket, like that. So let's go ahead and get these M2 nuts put into the correct slots for that. Go ahead and put this bracket in place, get it aligned, and we'll attach it with 4 M2 8mm screws. All right, these are all nice and tight. And so we'll go ahead and align this, and we'll go right here, just like that. So let's go ahead and prep our fan holder. But first let's look at this. So when we have it mounted, there will be a case that goes over this whole thing, and it will mount to these 2 points on each actuator. So let's go ahead and put our remaining 2 M2 nuts into the correct slots for that. So that will be this first slot up here, and this slot right here. So now let's go ahead and prep our fan holder, get the fan put into it. So I'll take the fan holder, I'm going to bring the cable from the inside out through the slot. And like previously, we want the label up so that the air is blowing upwards, the arrow pointing in that direction. And then I'm going to slide this into place with the cable coming over the fan. Just like that, slide it down, and the cable is routed over the top of the fan, like that. Okay, so I'll rotate this around and align it correctly so we can see the holes are lining up there. We'll go ahead and pull this. I'm just going to tuck this in out of the way right here. We'll take our fan holder, put that right there, and then make sure we have our alignment all the way through. And we'll start to fasten this with these M2 8mm screws, 4 screws. So tighten this one down most of the way. And flip around, make sure our alignment is still good over here. Bring this one in. And so now we've got this actuator mounted. That there.